up, fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe class Dinobot Slug from Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures. You can see on the side here we have a nice group shot of all the Dinobots, and they have that Dinobots Unite subline branding right there. On the front here we have the open packaging that they're doing now. I'm not a huge fan of this because you can kind of reach right in and touch the toy. You can kind of steal the accessories. Sometimes they're kind of like mounted on the wall of the packaging on the inside. So I know they're trying to cut down on plastic, but I do still wish it had just a little bit of plastic window there. I'm fine with, minimizing the plastic exposure, but I would like just a little bit to close that up. Over on this side, you get a nice picture of Slug, and then on the back, you get a picture of the robot mode, the Dino mode, and then you have some animation here of the Dino mode firing the Blaster Fire Fury. Okay, we'll see how that goes, but that's pretty much it for the packaging. I'm going to go ahead, get him out of there, and we'll take a closer look. So here is Slug out of the packaging. He looks really good. I think they did a really nice job with him. I love the face sculpt. He's kind of got that angry expression. Really nice blue paint there for the visor. I kind of wish this Autobot symbol here was painted, but other than that, really nice paint applications. Got a little bit of blue and silver here on the chest. Got a little bit of this kind of dark gray color here. A little bit of silver. Down here you get a little bit more of that kind of dark gray color. So nice red over here. So there's a lot of nice paint applications throughout the figure. And the other thing I really like about him, he really has no kibble whatsoever. I mean, he's got this tiny little bit on the back, but it kind of works. And I think it blends in nicely and it doesn't really impede any articulation or anything like that. So he looks fantastic. Head is on a ball joint. Now you can kind of lift this section off if you want, so you can move the head around a little bit more. This kind of clicks into place here, but you don't really have a ton of front to back movement. You can certainly look side to side, no problem. You can tilt a little bit side to side, but this is kind of meant to sit in this little channel here about there. That is not pegged in on both sides. Come on now. Sometimes I have difficulty with, there we go. There we go. So that's meant to sit there. You can kind of get at the head a little bit to move it, but it really mostly moves side to side. You have a nice ball joint here in the shoulder. You can kind of move this around. This is really more for the transformation, but you do have a hinge there and a hinge here as well for the shoulder. So if you would like to utilize that for posing, you can. But the main joint is this ball joint here. You do have a 90-degree bend in the elbow. You can actually bend backwards, so I guess technically you have a 180-degree bend. You do have a swivel here as well, right where the kind of forearm meets the elbow joint. Not really anything in the wrist. You can kind of hide them, but that's really for the transformation. Not really meant to be used in robot mode. You have a waist swivel here. You have a ball joint in the hip. You can kick back about that far, not quite that far back. Kick all the way forward. Kick pretty decently to the side. You have a thigh swivel there. A little bit over 90 degrees in the knee. And then you do have some nice ankle tilt down here. Not really front to back, but certainly side to side. So a lot of nice articulation here. He looks really good. He does come with a few accessories. He's got this large gun, which has some nice paint on it. And it also comes with a little blast effect. Just kind of pegs in here really nice and simple. And unlike a lot of the other blast effects, this is kind of solid plastic. So it doesn't really bend or distort in any way, which is nice. And I think that looks pretty good. Go ahead and pop that into his hands. He's got a really nice cannon there. He's also got this axe, which they did a really nice job painting. I'm pretty sure the whole thing is cast in the kind of translucent red plastic, but they painted the black and it looks really sharp. So they did a great job there. And you can kind of wield that over here in this hand. Or if you'd like, you have a couple options to peg it into the gun. Now you could just go ahead and peg it in like this, which doesn't look that great. But you can see that there's kind of a little channel here and you can actually sit this in like this. And then that uses the handle as kind of like another barrel, so it's kind of like a triple-barreled gun. Which is pretty great. I think that looks really, really cool. If you have another effect piece from something else, you can go ahead and peg it on the end there, which is pretty cool. So he's got a lot of great options for his accessories. He has some really nice weapons there, which I really appreciate. But yeah, he's a really solid-looking figure. Like I said, not a lot of kibble. Nice articulation, nice paint applications. Only thing, like I said, I wish the Autobot symbol here on the chest was painted, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with him. He looks really good. So let's go ahead and get into his transformation because it's actually really, really neat. Alright, so getting into the transformation, we're going to start off by just pushing the hands into the forearms. It's really not much, but it does kind of hide the fists and kind of completes the whole like bottom leg of the dinosaur here that we're going to get. So we're going to go ahead and take these, and these can actually come all the way down like this. And then you're going to push that all the way in like so. Bring this down and kind of fold this in tight, and they'll just kind of stay there off to the side. So use that joint to bring these down like so. Rotate this up and then kind of fold these in like this. I think I forgot to rotate this one, or I rotated it the wrong way. I think it's meant to rotate like this. So we'll just kind of leave them there for now. This next part is actually really, really neat. So what you have to do is kind of grab a hold of the whole torso, and you need to pull it away like that. And you'll see that it kind of unclicks. You can see now that there's space in between the waist red and this top section of red. And that also frees this up to move around a little bit. Now you want to grab onto this gold piece here that's kind of the chest plate. And that's connected to the whole head and everything. And you want to kick this out. And it's kind of hard to grab a hold of, but you want to kind of grab this so that this is going to pop off like that and kind of swivel back. Now what you want to do is kind of lift this back, and you can see that the actual mouth of the dino is hidden deep inside here. And it's kind of hard, but you can kind of get this. Got to get a finger back in here. Okay, now we can get that out, and that goes there. Now we're going to rotate this around 180 degrees. Do I have this all the way rotated out? I think so. Yeah, this is going to come around like this. You rotate the waist 180 degrees. And then this will come back around. Move these down here like so. You're going to take this. Let me move the arm out of the way. You can see that there is a hinge piece here, so that this whole thing will rotate 180 degrees as well. Then this is going to come back around. You have to make sure there's this weird joint here on the neck here, and you want to kind of bring that down a little bit. And then this is going to come back down and clip into place here, and then you can go ahead. I guess I did have these rotated the right way after all. So bring this around, and then this is kind of the whole front of the Triceratops. At this point you can go ahead and bring the horns in, kind of situate them how you would like. And I feel like this is a little askew. So there we go. Now we can come around to the back. We're going to take the feet and we're going to flip them 180 degrees towards the inside, like so. Then we're going to bring them all the way down like this. And they will kind of rest here against what was, I guess, the back of the leg. No, that was the shin. So that's going to come up and rest against the shin like that. You're going to get these about halfway, and then you're going to want to flip the tail sections out because they have to kind of come down and clear the thigh. So this is going to come down, and as you bring this around, you'll have room to kind of spin that around. This little tail section is going to pop out. Do the same thing over here. This has to kind of clear as you bring this around. And then as you do that, you'll be able to kind of click this all together. And then there are two red tabs right there and there that are going to peg into the bottom of the feet. And it's very hard to see right there and there. So this is going to come down and drop on top like so. And then all that's left to do is flip down the little dino back legs. And there we go. There is our Deluxe Class Slug in Triceratops mode. He looks fantastic. They did a really great job with this guy. I really like him quite a bit. You can take the gun if you want and peg it into this section back here. So he has some artillery there on the back. But he just looks good. The little dino head, I think, looks great. He's got the crest here around. You got the horns that you can kind of play with and pose however you like to get him in the exact right pose that you like. Mouth can open and close. If I can actually get my finger in there. There you go. So you can open and close the mouth. You have that same ball joint here. You have that same hinge joint and rotation that we had in the arm for all the front legs. You have a spin here. I guess you have a little bit of in and out, but it's really not much. It's mostly a spin, and then you have a little bit of a hinge here, really just for the transformation. And then not really anything you can do with the tail. That's just solid. But yeah, it's a really cool little Triceratops, and the transformation is just so fun and just not really something you see all the time. It's very kind of ingenious. I like when they have kind of crazy off-the-wall transformations that are just really well engineered and really clever. I like that a lot. So I think they did a great job with this guy. He looks fantastic. So I just wanted to do a quick little comparison with the other Cyberverse Dinobots we've gotten recently. They scale pretty well. Obviously, being an Ultra Class, Sludge is a little bit larger, but the other three scale together pretty well. I think Slug is pretty fantastic. Honestly, I'm kind of bummed we didn't get all the Dinobots in the Deluxe size class, because Deluxe usually warrants the best figures for Cyberverse, and this guy is no exception. I mean, he looks fantastic, paint applications are nice, great detailing, great articulation, the robot mode looks good, the Dino mode looks good, the transformation is actually really fun and clever, very well engineered, which I really like. I don't have too much to complain about this guy. If I had one thing to make a tiny nitpick about, I wish the Autobot symbol on his chest was painted. Other than that, he's pretty flawless in my opinion. The only other Deluxe Dinobot we got was Grimlock back in the first wave, and that figure is kind of a mess. I mean, the robot mode looks alright, the transformation is terrible, the T-Rex you're left with is kind of meh. This guy could not be further from that. He's just fantastic all the way around. He scales well enough with the other Dinobots, but again, I wish that we had gotten a consistent Deluxe for all five. Maybe they still will. I mean, there's obviously multiple versions. There's two different versions of Slug. There's one of those Crash Combiners with a Megatron that honestly looks kind of terrible, so I just completely skipped that one and went with this one, and this one's great. So maybe, fingers crossed, we'll eventually get all five of the Dinobots in the Deluxe size class. That would be nice, because we know that they've done multiple versions in the past. So this one's great. I got this one from Target.com. They actually had a sale last week, so I got them for like $13, which is a steal. Even if you have to pay full price for this one, which is around $20, I definitely still think he's worth it. Definitely, check. I've seen him on Amazon. I think he's up at Target. Some people might have even found them at Walmart. I think probably Target or Amazon is your best bet, but definitely cannot recommend this guy enough. He's pretty fantastic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.